I have been blind for 8 years.
All throughout primary and secondary school, I was able to see and make friends. As I lost my eyesight, a lot of things became difficult. I wanted to be a photographer and now I couldn't do that.
5 years ago, I was involved in a car accident that left me paralyzed neck down. I was a 20-year-old young woman. How can I live in a wheelchair? How can I work? Will I ever get married? Will I ever have kids?
I have a hearing loss since young. I can say that is 80 to 85% of hearing because of this cochlear implant. But sometimes I will require people to speak one more time because I need to understand what the person is talking about.
I have one of the rarest diseases in the world. There is no cure. The muscles in the hands and the lower limbs are atrophying at a very rapid stage. Eventually, I will lose the ability to walk. I think I would end up being in a wheelchair permanently.
When I was 8, my mom threw me down the rubbish chute. I was placed in a children's home where you have tons of kids making fun of you, and then a special school. That's when I was diagnosed with mild intellectual disability.
There's a common stereotype in society that disabled people are supposed to look sick. There is no brand out there that is making clothes for people like me. That's why I decided to work on starting my own brand.
I am the taekwondo full-time coach. I don't see any difference between the coach with a hearing and the coach with no hearing because we are all doing the same thing.
In 2022, I started a YouTube channel where I talk about what it's like to live with blindness from my point of view. If I can reach people all over the world, that would be the maximum form of impact I can make in the world.
It's really hard to forgive my mom, but I'm really trying. If I have a choice, my dream will be weirdness.
The motivation for me was my daughter. It was important to let my daughter know I have always loved her. My name is Warren Sheldon Humphreys. Welcome to my home. It's my first real home. Small as it is, I like to say that it is very special to me. It's a fresh beginning for me. Currently, Riley is taking care of me. She's both my caregiver, a partner, but not in a marital sense, a good friend. Oh, thanks. Today is going to be a very important day. I'm going to be at SG Enable to go through a rehearsal for an upcoming festival.
Okay, push.
I think my toe. Yeah.
Just now it was okay, remember? Let's try it again.
Okay. I have one of the rarest diseases in the world. It's called Charcot-Marie Tooth disease. 1 in 2,500 people have it. Most would develop this in the early stages of infancy. In my case, I was diagnosed with it in 2016. There is no cure. What are the symptoms of CMT? The muscles in the hands and the lower limbs are actually atrophying at a very rapid stage. Eventually, I will lose the ability to walk. I think I would end up being in a wheelchair permanently.
My name is Ivan. I'm 37 years old. I'm the father of 2 kids.
Listen.
My wife is a PR. She has been living in Singapore for more than 20 years. Every morning in the week, we have to wake up before my wife had to go to work. We will get them to shower, get them to take care of breakfast.
What Chinese homework?
Yeah, today you got tuition, ma?
Yeah, I got you.
Do finish, Then spend some time with them. We have to send my son to school.
Oh no.
By the time we have to go, then we will go down. My mother will be downstairs.
Hi, Ethan.
Then after that, we come back to my mother's place and then try to rest a while. Then we get ready to go to work when it's time to come. Bye, Chloe.
Bye-bye.
Papa go over first. I have a disability. I have a hearing loss since young. My parents found that I'm not responding to them. Then he found that I have a loss of balance. Maybe because of a loss of balance, maybe I have a hearing loss. Oh no. So both sides I'm wearing is the 2 different type of hearing device. So the hearing aid actually only just amplifying sounds only. But for the cochlear implant that I'm wearing is more computerized like that. Can capture the person's speech when it comes to the conversation. I can say that that is 80 to 85% of hearing because of this cochlear implant, but sometimes I will require people to speak one more time because I need to understand what the person is talking about also.
I need to wake up at 5 a.m. every single day because I work full time, but my job does not start until 9. But the thing is, with my injury, what it would take someone probably 5 minutes to wear a t-shirt, that would take me like a good 30 minutes. I'm Zoe Zora. I'm 25 years old. When I was paralyzed, I lost everything below my neck. You know, many people think that, oh, the only difficulty she faces is not being able to walk. But not being able to walk is the least of my problems. I have chronic pains 24 hours. These are just some of the medications that I have to take every single day for my nerve pain, my muscle pain, to help me sleep. There was a point where I was taking so many, I was abusing the drug where I would keep telling my helper, okay, I'm in too much pain, give me one more. I would take one at like 12 a.m. and then I would take one more at 1 and then at 2. And then by that time, I would be so like high where you know you might overdose. So that's why I'm trying my best to quit, to get my body off of these meds because they're highly addictive and the body gets used to it and it no longer works. This is gonna give me dementia. So in 10 years, I might not know you. For me, doing my makeup is a very empowering feeling because there was a point after my accident that I could not pick up anything from my hands. Just 1 second, I just want my sponge. My baby sisters were 3 when I met with the car accident. The foundation brush. They're 9 now. They help me shower. They can comb my hair. They know how to make me wear my clothes. I would say I make chronic pain look really good. What you don't see is what's going on inside my body. Everything below my neck feels like someone is constantly taking a knife and stabbing me. How do I look?
I have been blind for 8 years. Ooh. Now today's topic is going to be a bit on the heavy side. When I was 7 years old, my parents actually noticed that there was something wrong with my eye. So I was diagnosed with congenital glaucoma, and over time I started losing my eyesight. So even though as a child I was able to see, over time it got worse and worse. By the time I was about 15 to 16 years old, I was struggling a lot to read and write and even see faces. That was when I became what I refer to as functionally blind. So where are we at for watch hours? One of the tools that I really feel passionately about using is digital media. So in 2022, I started a YouTube channel where I talk about what it's like to live with blindness from my point of view. But one thing that people don't really consider is where do these people get their canes in the first place? How would you describe images of outer space to someone who can't see?
With points of starlight behind it, the nebula itself is shaped like an irregular oval.
I make videos. Go.
Hi, my name is Josh Sang. My day job is one as a digital accessibility specialist, but I'm also a public speaker and a disability advocate. Go into the Singapore Art Museum's Touch collection, which is meant to be accessible for people with vision impairment. One of the advantages of online media is that you can reach a lot of people. And so I want to take advantage of that because if I can reach people all over the world and get them to understand people with disabilities like me, that would be the maximum form of impact that I can make in the world.
So one question that I get is, how do you stand out when you're making videos on YouTube? I'm targeting a very specific type of audience who wants to discover more about people with blindness.
Looking at the YouTube channel, things were a bit of a mixed bag. So by the end of the year, what we're looking at is 320 subscribers and about 11,000 total video views, improved by one from last week. One of the things that stood out is the attention duration, or what some people call the retention rate. A lot of our videos didn't go past 30%. So for 2023, I'm going to be starting with YouTube Shorts. All of the videos are 60 seconds or less. We're going to be targeting about 35 to 45 seconds. I want to see if we can reach 500,000 unique viewers in 3 months, and perhaps in 6 months, we can see if we can reach 1 million unique viewers.
That's why I got my bearings of infant, around about. Yep. Recently, I signed up to be an iChamp with SG Enable. So as an iChamp, you are a voice for persons with PWDs, and I've been given the opportunity to be trained as a docent for the upcoming Enabling Festival event.
Opened by PM Lee Hsien Loong as the first inclusive community space in Singapore dedicated to integrating persons with disabilities in society.
I'm very excited to be given the honour. The Enabling Life Festival will be, well, after 2 years, post-COVID, will be the very first time that we're having a physical event. It will be an awareness program for PWDs as part of the whole inclusion basis of making sure everybody has an opportunity in terms of employment, support and all.
So we wouldn't say one stop when we say the first stop.
First stop.
Yes, because for us we work with partners. Yeah, correct. So one stop means that we actually
Everything is okay. Thanks, come again.
We are not the one stop. We are the first stop.
Well, I got to know about SG Enable sometime in 2019, but my eyes were open today when I realized that it's a lot more to it. You have medical support, you have inclusive education opportunities for not only adults but also young ones, for example, the kindergarten.
So the first inclusive preschool is actually set up here. 70% will be regular children, 30% will be catered to children with special needs.
One thing that really blew my mind was there is actually a gym catered to PWDs.
Sheldon is the only mentor in my life right now. I've been helping him for 1 year. I have learned from Sheldon that, you fall once, it's not the end. You still can get back up and try.
It's important for people to see things from the perspective of a PWD. I feel extremely humbled to be selected. It's both exciting and a little stressful because I don't want to let anybody down. Cool, thanks, Jeff.
So today, I'm borrowing someone's studio to be able to film some of my YouTube shorts in. This is kind of surprising to some people, but I have a girlfriend. Her name is Nat, and we've been together for almost 5 years.
Later, you want Papa?
Yes. I've been guiding him whenever we met, pointing out things like when there's stairs, where the railing is, or when there's a curb. Sometimes I would be guiding him around and I get distracted, and there are times when, because of me, he has accidentally walked into a wall. But it's fine.
When I go out by myself, I actually walk a lot faster than a lot of people think. In fact, when people guide me, usually my walking speed is a lot slower, or maybe they might be concerned for me tripping. So when I'm going out with someone who I can trust, like my girlfriend, it would make things a lot smoother when I'm trying to go to unfamiliar spaces.
You okay?
So first, for this car, it's very different, okay? We go inside, running up, climb. 5 years ago, when I was 20 years old, I was involved in a car accident that left me instantly paralyzed neck down. We hit a tree head on and I flew from the back seat up front. My accident happened in India and I was supposed to be dead. When they took me into the hospital, we found out that I had broken my spinal cord. I was a 20-year-old young woman. I was looking forward to my 21st birthday. And 6 months before my birthday, I met with an accident. It was like all I had ever wanted was all taken away from me. And suddenly I had to try to survive, make it out in the world that was making me feel like I shouldn't be here. I felt like, how can I live in a wheelchair? How can I work? Will I ever get married? Will I ever have kids? And then I went to my doctor and I asked him, I was like, will I walk again? And then he laughed, and then he actually said, "You have very great ambitions." I left that hospital and then I cried. Like, I went back and damn it still annoys me. But I don't like crying. That day changed everything for me because it was like someone else was telling me what I couldn't do anymore, but I wanted to take my power back.
How much longer do you think we'll be done in?
I am the taekwondo full-time coach. Today there will be the Dedo Open Taekwondo Championship. I will be coaching the students from my clubs. And this championship is organized by my company.
My name is Lai Han Seng. I am Ivan's employer. He has been working together with me for the last 14 years. I'll remind you, this is a competition. The students will be a little bit nervous. It is up to us to calm them down, but at the same time, making sure that they can perform.
I began my taekwondo journey at the age of 13 years old. When I turning about 23 years old, I started full-time job in the J. Kim Taekwondo School.
For this year's championship, we are very fortunate that 12 countries and 61 teams and over 1,000 participants will be involved over these 3 days. Okay, hopefully tomorrow take our voice.
I do feel nervous, I feel pressure because there will be a lot of movement around, a lot of players around. Just hope that everything goes well.
I know things might not always go your way. Whatever it is, please stay calm.
As a coach, I don't see any difference between the coach with a hearing and the coach with non-hearing because we are all doing the same thing. The only difference is that I'm not being able to hear well. That's all.
Sorry.
I could hear during the briefing. Most of the details are pretty clear because I have been used to it, because I have been coaching for many years already, and then I've been attending briefing for every competition.
Mr. Ivan as well. Yeah, so for this championship, Ivan will be coaching his students, mainly in the Kummooyeh event.
So, every technique, so.
For Ivan, he has been involved competitively.
Look straight.
So we expect that he will be able to pass on his experience and his knowledge to his students.
3, 2.
As a very experienced coach, he'll be able to point out the little details that can help the students perform better.
I had to get them warm up, make sure they are comfortable before they enter into the court, and also just to make sure that things goes well for them until the end of their contest. Do this for yourself and make Mr. Sadia happy for you. Yeah. Last time when I was a student, I used to feel very stressed before starting the competition. My coaches will help me to tell me, okay, you have to calm down and you have to just to practice, warm up yourself, make sure you are doing okay, and then enter inside and give your best until the end of it, and then you can walk out. So that I have to share my experience with the kids, so that the kids will have the experience what I used to go through. If the number is called, it means you are in the next one. Understand? So we have to wait. Understand?
Today we came down to scout this studio, to borrow this space for filming purposes. Hopefully it can improve the production quality of our YouTube shorts. Like most people who started making videos, I just did it in my room, and while that is serviceable, the background can sometimes be used to enhance the shot.
There's tables with like statues and stuff on it.
Okay.
Like to them there's a cabinet. When I go out with Josh, especially when I'm showing him around new places, it's a habit of mine to describe different points of interest or interesting things to him.
For me, when I walk into the room, immediately one of the things that I pick up on the acoustics. Yeah, it's quite it. Okay. Yeah. Does it reflect a lot of noise or does it absorb noise? So for example, in this room as well, if I clap, it's very dead, it's very good acoustically, so there's a lot of touch, hearing. These are the things I pay attention to. On the other hand, Nat sort of complements that because she can pick up on the visuals. Oi! No! What's in here?
It's like family photos, and then like the faces are like blurred out.
Yeah. Maybe I should make a shot on whether blind people can see ghosts.
I wanna help you.
Nat is afraid of ghosts. She does not like any thinking or thoughts of the paranormal come to haunt you. Sadly, I could not convince her to film anything in that room.
Today is the International Day for Persons with Disabilities, and it's a celebration of who we are. You excited?
Yeah.
Today basically was the first time that I've taken a motorized wheelchair out this far and this long in a day. Normally I use a non-motorized wheelchair. If it's a short distance, it's more practical because the fact that, I still need to charge it, I need to make sure at the end of the day I don't damage it. There's also the matter of anxiety. Today I beat that anxiety. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, I'm Sheldon.
Hi, Sheldon.
Pleasure to meet you. Love the antlers.
Oh, thank you. We're doing like a Christmas interview now. Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Chantal.
Okay.
Riley. Hi.
I'm one of the guides.
Yes. Oh.
So if you can join one of our tours, awesome. See you later.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, today I saw Chantal,
Hi.
then also Romeo. You don't get to see them every day, so obviously excited.
One of your biggest fans.
So my booth is just right over there. You want to come in?
Yep. So this is your booth.
Apparently the booth also shared with some of the artists because I'm quite into photography. So I took a picture when I'm overseas. So all these photos taken by me.
Mr. Romeo Tan. He's a MediaCorp artist for Channel 8. He's actually a very popular TV star.
So I heard you're a tour guide, so you'll be guiding the public.
I'm one of 3 iChamps. We basically champion the rights of PWDs. Today what's happening is that 3 of us will be doing the tours to bring the members of the public around the enabling village. But more importantly is to also let them know what are the kind of services the enabling village has, mainly for caregivers and PWDs.
I'm just curious, during your down or your darkest time, when you're aware about your illness, how long does it take for you to overcome it?
Honestly,
Yes.
almost 3 years. I went through different stages. The motivation for me was my daughter. Even though we are a bit estranged, I told myself that if I have to do something, I have to be a shining example, not to give up in life.
He's very bubbly, very cheerful at the same time. I can sense a lot of good energy vibes from him. Do an exercise for your bicep. Just after talking to him, it's like me going through a good counseling session.
He actually acknowledged his admiration for me as a person, and that I was an inspiration. That really touched me.
1, 2.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. I wish you the best.
You too.
I would say a little overwhelmed with so many things going on. My brain can't process.
He's fangirling at the moment. She's shy.
Today, I'm invited to be a speaker at the European Union Human Rights Day seminar, where we are going to be discussing, having conversation about inclusion, inclusive products, businesses. I am really excited to be speaking at the event because I am a strong advocate for people with disabilities. When I arrived, a session was already ongoing, so I was generally very nervous because there were a lot of leaders in the industry at that session.
To actually realize how can we go about having our schools become more inclusive. So we were working to provide over 100 hours of in-service training to teachers.
Today's event, I think EU Human Rights Day, the seminar really is to observe the International Day of Persons with Disabilities, helping our friends from the EU who are in Singapore to understand what the landscape is like in Singapore and Southeast Asia when it comes to disability inclusion.
Welcome to
the second and final panel for today.
Hello, everyone. I'm really excited to be having this conversation today. I'm very new to this space, unlike many of you here, because I got into this space of advocacy after my injury 5 years ago, which left me disabled for the rest of my life. I was really nervous at the beginning, but I think it was an honor, as well as I think it was great for EU to invite me for this session, because a perspective directly from a disabled person is very, very important. I work full-time, so you're seeing me everywhere in my bright colored clothes because I want to be loud and proud about my disability, in the hope that society welcomes more disabled people to be out there at gyms, at workplaces. Me, someone who gyms a lot, I get a lot of stares when I go into the gym. I think my story is definitely a bit more relatable because of the fact that mine is an acquired disability. I have lived without a disability for 20 years, so I know what that feels like, being treated differently. So there's a common stereotype in society that disabled people are supposed to look sick. That's why I decided to work on starting my own brand. There's no brand out there that is an activewear brand that is making clothes for people like me. Things as simple as not having zips at the back, zips in the front, things like magnetic zippers, Velcros. It's not just easy for me, it's easy for you too.
A round of applause for our speakers, Patrick and Zoe. Thank you very much for your time.
There was a point after my accident that I was shut up. I was forced to shut up because I could not speak when I had the tracheostomy tube, right? Meaning I could not speak for months. And then I had to work on getting a voice back. So when I got my voice back, I was like, I will never stop talking now.
Hi, good to see you. I didn't know you were going to turn up here. I'm going to walk around. This is my caregiver and a friend. Oh, caregiver. Okay.
Hello.
Her name is Riley.
Hi.
Hi, sorry.
Hi, sorry. Traffic jam.
Yeah. We'll need traffic policemen around. My objective was to meet other PWDs. Meeting so many fellow PWDs made me feel that I am part of a family. Seeing them just inspires me to say, you know what? Don't hide in a shell. Come out. Be somebody that others see. Okay.
Let's try that volume.
Hi, my name is Sheldon. As we go, just follow us. There will be a test at the end of the tour to make sure that all of you are paying attention and not just taking pictures. I'm part of a team of 3 iChamps, and we've been selected to actually conduct tours for members of the public. If you want to take pictures, this is my good side. Okay, so follow us. And the tours are actually to create a sense of awareness about what Enabling Village is about, where many are not even sure about. So the nest is actually where, we begin the journey of nurturing. It's been 3 weeks since we did the first rehearsal, so there were butterflies in my stomach this morning. So this is actually a kindergarten. I've done tours before, but I never expected to feel anxiety, because normally the tours are places of attraction and everything. If I give the wrong information, I'm not doing any of my PWD community any favors. Onto the amphitheatre itself, just to sit down and enjoy the serenity of the place itself. Because what we want to do is create a community.
Sheldon told me that this is important to him because he wants to be an inspiration to people. Every day, Sheldon gets up in the morning, he will go through his notes and he will ask me to go through with him. And he was like, I have to be perfect. And he was super excited. The Stroke Support Station is one of the facilities within Enabling Village.
I think it's important for me to let people know that there is a place for them to go, because many of us on our initial journeys, we feel very lost. We're not sure where to start, okay, and if we do start, do we hit a bump in the road or a wall? I would like to share with people that we are not persons with disabilities, we are persons with determination. Everyone I've met has only one desire: to help us regain our footing, no pun intended, back into society. If you have any friends who are differently able, okay, always make sure that at the end of the day you treat them no different from yourself. me. I sound like Santa Claus with it.
Today is day 2 of the competition. Today we are here to show what Kummooyeh is all about. Kummooyeh is a Korean art of the swordsmanship. They will have sword practice and the archery practice.
My name is Hyun-gyu Jang, and I'm from South Korea. And I teach Korean sword martial art. It's called Kummooyeh. And also, I'm leading the World Kummooyeh Federation. So Kum means sword, Muye means martial art. So I established this organization in 2010. I believe to understand sword techniques, you need to know sword form, sparring, and cutting techniques.
For the opening ceremony, I will be performing the archery demonstration. I feel very nervous. This is my first time performing the archery demonstration. I am now learning the Kummooyeh for 3 years, and I am pursuing the 3rd dan. So I have been practicing my sword and my archery for these 3 years.
For Sharia and Ivan, although they have competed in taekwondo, I think it's also their first time doing archery in front of everybody. It's not easy to perform your normal skills in front of people.
Archery is difficult is because we have to make sure that we have to load the arrow, and we have to make sure that we aim the target before we start shooting. I have to make sure that my posture and the way how I load the arrow and the way how I move my bow, so that the arrow will move in the straight line consistent towards the target. I am happy with what I have demonstrated today. I am consistent on the target when I do the archery demonstration.
So last time we were here, Nat and I recce'd the studio to scout out locations where we could do some filming of videos. And so today we'll be filming a number of shots. I've written about 7 or 8 of them. Okay, where did you put the tripod just now?
Let me go get it. Here's the tripod. When I first started working with him, it's very difficult to get used to trying to help him in the sense of showing him where to look at.
Okay, can you set up the framing of the shot, then tell me where I need to go?
So I have to learn, I have to be very conscious when describing things. I have to be the objects on your left or it's on your right.
Okay, yeah, what's the table?
It's right in front of you. Careful, it's here. Yeah, that's your phone.
Just my phone?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Or I'll tell him, can you move one step to your right so that you're more in frame?
Am I looking at the camera?
Turn a bit towards me. Down a bit. Video recording. Can you clap?
Okay. Ready?
Yep. Being very descriptive is something that he really needs, but it's also something that I'm not used to, even though we've been doing this for quite a while.
So I'm blind. Look at that.
Sorry, when I mean further out, I mean like further in front. Something.
Oh, that's very natural. Okay. Can I try? Being a blind YouTuber, it comes with several challenges. Number one, it's actually very difficult for me to maintain eye contact with the camera because I can't really see where it is.
Do that again, but turn your head towards me a little bit more and down.
And I frequently need help being told, where to turn and adjust my head so that my eyes are actually facing the lens. After I say where, they say there, near you.
Near you.
Where is it?
It's there.
Where?
There, near you.
One very big challenge for me is that it's actually quite costly to make videos. On average, I spend anywhere between $100 or even more per video. It is not financially viable to keep making videos without a payoff. I just want the videos to be able to pay for themselves. And on my right eye, my vision looks like frosted glass.
One thing a lot of people misunderstand is that, blind people and people with disabilities are also fairly normal people. They can achieve whatever a sighted person can achieve, even though it might take an equal amount or greater effort. After being with Josh and working with him for so long, I just see him as another normal person, to the point where sometimes I forget he's blind.
This is how you can help a blind person that you meet. Ask us first if we need help in the first place. There were moments when my emotional state was really affected by the ups and downs of doing video online. I did have a terrible fear that if I failed, everyone would look down on me.
Yep.
Ready?
When are the samples coming?
Guess what happened? Again, there's a delay.
How is this for good?
Today, I found out that the samples for my activewear that was supposed to be delivered, there has been a huge delay and I don't know how to react. I don't know if I'm frustrated, if I'm angry, if I'm sad.
Why?
Because COVID, the factory is shut.
Oh God. No, how? After the accident, Zora was not able to write, hold anything. She couldn't use her hands, and including the arms, tick positive. Before the accident itself, she was a model. She liked dressing up.
I was a teenager. Me and my best friend would always talk about starting like our own fashion designing company. But after I became disabled, that's when suddenly I saw a problem, because now clothes were no longer easy for me to wear. Opening with accessible clothing, I can achieve that. So that's when I decided I want clothes that are easy to wear but look good, and I could not find them outside. My mom helped me a lot with the designing process of my brand, because even though I have regained some function of my hand, I don't have enough strength to draw. So she became my hands of this whole process. Magnetic zipper.
She works full-time, I work full-time. We rarely get time to ourselves. So that was the time that I really could spend time with her, alone, without any disturbance, which I really value that. As a mother, I really wanted to be close to her.
Cool.
Here I have put that.
This design is of a sports bra. This design has Velcros in the front. My sports bra, it's front facing. So I have Velcro to basically help me ease wearing a bra.
Zora is funding this whole entire business from the money she earned by herself. Not even $1 I sponsored.
My goal is to just launch my brand, because I've been wanting to do this for a long time. And even if just maybe 3 people or 4 people are buying my products, I would be extremely happy, because 3-4 people saw that my product is a solution to their clothing needs. I think that's success for me.
Today I have the end of the year assessment with my boss, Mr. Lai Han Seng, to review anything that I need to improve for my work. My name is Lai. I feel a bit very uncertain what he's going to tell me.
It's the end of the year.
Yes, sir.
Right, so talk about how things has been. In terms of teaching, I think you have been teaching for the last 14 years, so I think there are no issues. One of the things that you have to work on is your leadership skills. What I'm hearing, especially recently, is that things are not going that well. In the last few months, I've been detecting that there are some little issues that is happening within the team. When you started when you were 23, this is like your first full-time job. You work very hard, many occasions. You gave me your resignation letter so many times, but you stayed. You are a minority shareholder. If you do not take up that leadership, if people start to feel that they are not being taken care of, the easiest thing to do is they will leave. They will.
Some of the staff don't feel comfortable with me. Maybe probably it's the way how I communicate with them. Or maybe I have to open up and try to share with them more. 14 years in this company teaching taekwondo. 1, 2. It is not easy. I do resign many times because of the pressure. Maybe there are too many things that I cannot handle. I don't think my hearing disability is an issue. It's probably the way I think and the way how I behave.
Your hearing is not a disability for you, and you have been living with it for 30 over years. What you need to work on, you do not want your team to leave because you simply refuse to acknowledge that there is a problem. So take care of them. So when Ivan first came for interview, I said, Ivan, would you want me to treat you like a normal person or someone who has some challenges? Even then, when he was 23, the answer he gave me was, please treat me normally. Whenever I work with him, the content of what I tell him did not change whether he has a hearing disability or not. I may speak a little bit slower, I may speak a little bit louder. I think my expectations of him has always remained the same. If he is holding that position as a senior staff, he must behave like one.
Going through this assessment with him, yes, I do feel pressure and stress. So I would like to say that thank you for your feedback. So I will continue to work hard for next year. And Mr. Lai, I would like to seek your blessing to pursue the third dan Kummooyeh.
Okay, I think that's great.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I think it's going to be difficult to attain the third dan black belt in Kummooyeh. There are many forms to practice. You have to achieve your archery practice within the requirement of distance. In 3 months' time, if I achieve the third dan black belt, I hope to be a better instructor so that I can be able to pass down to student well.
So it's been a few weeks since we filmed our first batch of videos for YouTube Shorts, TikTok, and so today I'm here with Nat to go over some of the final edits, tweak the videos a little bit before we start scheduling them to appear on social media. So Nat does video editing for me. She's my pair of eyes, so to speak. There were a few videos that we took a look at today. Where's near me?
It's okay, I'll get it for you. Here you go.
I think the title, this is how you drive blind people mad. Basically, I'm trying to tell people, don't give vague instructions. Another one about counting money, I think this one is particularly useful. It's a question that I get a lot. So what you do is you take the note and fold it around your middle 3 fingers like so, and the amount that sticks out from either side indicates what kind of value the dollar note is.
I've been editing Josh's videos for about a year now. Obviously, we aren't sure if we would get paid, especially in the long term. Monetization is one thing, but from there onwards, how far will we be able to push the channel?
You know, I'm talking about my disability, my life. This is very personal. It can be quite emotionally difficult to balance and make that sense of separation in a healthy way. Of course, you can do everything and still doesn't guarantee success, right? And so if we don't hit the goal, I'm going to be honest, I'm going to be really discouraged. It's going to be really disappointing. Okay, so I guess this is the first in hopefully many more to come on our road to 500,000 in 3 months.
At least once a week or as much as possible. We try to make an effort to come and see my mom. Mom will be excited to see us. Growing up, I've never been able to do anything to make her proud. So, better late than never. So I thought today would be a nice time to catch up. Hi, Mom.
Hi, come in.
Earlier in the month, I was selected as one of those who will be going around doing tours for Enabling Lives Festival. One of the highlights was actually being interviewed by the minister.
Thanks so much for doing this. We need more ambassadors. We need the community and we need this issue to be front and center. We need us to be visible.
So you're the center of attraction lah.
Yeah lah. Mom is very shy. She's never been in the limelight. So she's feeling a little, Okay. It was a nice feeling lah, to feel that all the last 3 years of, battling what I have and trying to get people to appreciate us as PWDs. I felt for once in my life I'm able to make the family proud. I've made so many mistakes in my life. It wasn't something that made them proud, especially Mom. With the recent Enabling Lives Festival, I felt that I had finally done something right. My life earlier than that was not one where the family felt that I had achieved a lot.
We will all be very supportive, your brother and I, and anything that you need.
But
the heart still aches. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's Heather, right? I always encourage her at end of the day to reconcile with you, and you also to reconcile with her.
Just as I have that regret, my mom does have one wish, is for me and Heather being my daughter, to reconcile, because we've not spoken since she turned 21. She's 26, 5 years ago. 5 years, it's a long time not to have the chance to hear my daughter call me, Dad.
Heather has been very close to me from baby, so there's a bond between us. Give her time, it won't materialize.
I know I've made my fair share of mistakes. I also hope that someday she doesn't see me as a failure of a father.
No, she won't. A daughter will never think that the father failed.
Reconciliation with Heather right now is the biggest and most important thing on my plate. And I want to do it right. Sometimes I don't feel that I want to be around at all. The heart aches, when I look around.
I'm sad to hear that also.
I would give up anything.
But now cheer up. Cheer up. Things will turn okay for you.
Coming from a broken family, I do not want my son to go through the same thing.
Once in a while, just like everyone else, we want to do things for fun.
There has been a huge delay in me receiving my samples.
So here's the letter that I wrote to Heather. Hi Heather, Dad here.